I'm Jolie Braley and I have two beautiful children. I have Jack, he is 4 months old, and I have Theodore, who is 2.5 years old. So 2 children under the age of 3.
We can have it in the living room, but we're going to have Noki, aren't we?
No.
We're just saying no to everything.
I have a very, very busy life managing children, my own project, and working 4 days a week.
I've always loved working, and my career is really important to me, just as it is for many women. But finding out I was pregnant changed my life and opened my eyes to a whole world of discrimination that I never knew existed. I was sacked from my job at 4 months pregnant.
I couldn't quite believe somebody would actually behave like that. And I mean, I also felt quite hurt because I knew the charity very well and knew the people that worked there very well. And so for them to put me in that position when I felt like I was at my most vulnerable, felt like a really personal attack. And it really knocked my confidence because, of course, they didn't admit that it was because I was pregnant. They told me it was because I wasn't doing my job properly. And so I found myself 4 months pregnant and effectively unemployed.
Why should a woman have to choose between children and a career? It's really important that our society enables us to have both.
Definitely. Oh my God, I would go back to work today.
It's not just women wanting to work, but men wanting to spend more time with their children.
There's nothing you can buy your children, there's nothing you can do for your children apart from the time. That is all you can do for them.
I am on a journey to uncover the experiences of lots of women who face discrimination.
Both my barrister and my solicitor had said it's extremely difficult to prove sexual discrimination.
I'll find out how legislation in other countries across the world affects parenthood.
In America, 1 in 4 women go back after 2 weeks.
I believe it.
Through this documentary, we plan to explore what needs to change for men and women to have successful careers, whilst also being exceptional parents, and what the benefits are to society and our economy if we can achieve this. We will focus on flexible working, pregnancy and maternity discrimination, childcare costs and shared parental leave, and what we can learn from other countries. We will address the impact that pregnancy and maternity leave has on businesses, speaking to company owners and to Tina Knight, who is the chair of Women in Business.
No, the point is that that's not the point at all.
You can't put out statistics like that
The
without
point-
saying how
hang on,
many
Tina,
of them
let's
win.
just let Jolie finish the point.
This could help inform the change that stops us getting pregnant, then screwed. When I faced discrimination, I felt like I was the only person in the world that was going through this. But then I started speaking to other women and I realised that I wasn't alone. This is a really common problem. In fact, there are thousands of women who are facing discrimination due to becoming mothers.
We know that 54,000 women a year lose their jobs from the point of pregnancy. And these figures are really, really shocking. We also know that very few women do anything about it. They suffer in silence. So only 1% go to tribunal and 3% even go through an internal grievance process.
This gave me the push to set up Pregnant Then Screwed.
We exist to try and tackle, reduce and amplify the systemic problem of pregnancy and maternity discrimination. And we hope that through doing that, we can reduce the motherhood penalty for women.
I've been so overwhelmed by the response I've had from Pregnant Then Screwed that it's driven me to want to make a real change. Changes that will enable women to be mothers and continue their careers.
Come on then, in the pram please.
We're going to a play group in the park up the road called the Beehive Play Group.
Go to the playroom.
We're going to the play group and
To the new playroom.
it's a new play group. There's going to be a mix of fathers and mothers. It's a really nice dynamic where you've got probably about a 50-50 split between mothers and fathers. So we're going to be talking to them about what they think about the motherhood penalty, if any of them have felt they've been discriminated against. Right, come on then.
Parent and baby groups are a place where lots of mothers and fathers share their experiences and their stories, and it's where I first started to hear about other parents' experiences of discrimination. Whilst Theo and his dad enjoyed themselves, I sat down with Eloise for a chat to better understand how giving up work to care for her child had affected her.
It's been harder than I imagined, really, because financially it's been a struggle, and I've just found the loss of role quite hard. The sort of the sense of belonging to an organisation, and I think society. There's so much store set by, you know, being a successful person. That applies to women as well. And I think it's hard to sort of to go from having a job and feeling your sort of sense of vocation to then being at home with the child.
After speaking to Eloise, I realised she wasn't the only parent who had given up her career for children.
My employer had kind of made it really obvious from the moment I told them that I was pregnant, that they just went, oh, well, you'll be leaving us then, won't you? And it was like, oh.
Did they directly say that?
Yeah.
So they made an assumption about what you wanted to do when you were pregnant with your second child?
Yeah. And it was like, at no point was I like thinking that I'm going to just completely stay at home. If that meant that I would that I would leave that job, I'd go and find another part-time job. But that's also another issue, because trying to find, as a mother of two, trying to find new employment part-time is tricky.
Men face societal pressure to be the main breadwinner when many would love to take time out to care for their children.
In my head, a lot of the times maybe the fathers don't do it because they're forced, but they feel the pressure to do the work and that they can't take the time off, and then they have to, jump straight back in and work.
There's clearly a disconnect between the financial needs of a family, the way that modern families manage their responsibilities, and the ability to succeed in a career or even hold down a job.
These are problems that are deeply entrenched in our society to do with work and family life. But I'm determined to help bring about a change for our future